everybody. Welcome to a rehabilitated episode of Artism Speaks podcast. This week featuring VivziePop.
Yay!
Yeah. So you're doing. And also Bung. Again. and Raptors as well. And I'm Sparky. Someone yelled at me that I don't do proper introductions. So there. Are you happy now, Shammy? Are you happy?
Fuck 'em.
That's right.
Of course it was Shammy who complained.
Shammy yells at me a lot.
Yeah.
I love Shammy though.
He's a grumpy boy.
Yeah, he's a good one. So you do so you're making your very own cartoon on YouTube called Has Been Hotel.
Yes, I am.
So
that is what we are hard at work on.
Yeah. I just I saw the video you uploaded on Friday, I believe.
Yes.
That the music video, that was really great. The little joke at the end of that really fucking got me. that was hilarious. I wasn't expecting it.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
So many of that's because even though it looks like I like the swearing in that because it's not constant. Like something like Sausage Party, where they take the oh look we're animated, so we're a kids thing, right? And then they just swear every 10 seconds and that's the joke. But whereas good.
We're trying to like downplay the cursing, like because I think cursing's funny, but
in doses
at the same time excessive. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's perfect when it's placed in the right spot. Like when the guy says, "Wow, that was shit."
Yeah.
My favorite part of that has got to be his facial expression though when he says it. It's just like he's all happy and just like wholesome at first, and then he the sharp teeth and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bung, have you seen?
It was a very like that line in two is extra funny to me because it's Maxwell Adams who's saying it.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like it was funny to get Maxwell Adams to say that was shit to our song.
It looked like amazing as well. Like there's so much animation and everything going on. It's so high production. Everything went in, all that effort went into it, and then just to hit the punchline, that was shit.
Yeah. No, we thought that would be fun.
That is great. I love that. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the project, like how it started and what kind of inspired it?
Sure. Apologies for being a little weird. Like my recording is kind of echoing, so I'm like, oh.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good.
I'm recording OBS. I got a picture of Brandaniel Reed's just up there, so.
Oh, Brandaniel's awesome.
Oh yeah, is he doing anything in Has Been?
No, but it would be funny to have him do something because his voice is very distinct.
You probably could get him real easy as well. He's
yeah, I think we follow each other.
Yeah. Oh, you should absolutely get Brendan to do something for Has Been. I love hearing him and stuff. He's great.
Yeah, he's great. I think having him play a character that's just always disgusted by things would be very funny because he's
got a very
when he reads these horrible fan fictions, he just wants to die all the time.
I love it. Brendan came on and he ruined the podcast for an episode.
Oh no!
It was a wonderful episode because normally Sparky makes fun of me a lot, and then having Brendan come on and just roast Sparky completely was wonderful.
Not just that, but he came on and he made our thumbnail artist draw my little shark as Marge Simpson.
No. It was Meg from Family Guy.
Meg from Family. I'm sorry.
Oh, I hate it.
That's great.
It's so good.
I hate it too.
Brendan's a legend.
But a little bit about the project.
Yeah.
So basically the idea came from, like, I've had the characters for a long time, and originally they were part of a webcomic that I was doing. Like, I kind of had a huge story planned for this webcomic, and these characters weren't going to be in it until, like, near the end. And I loved the characters so much that I was like, you know what? These characters don't need to exist in this world. Like, they kind of work on their own. So I started to kind of play with this completely new story And originally it was very different. Like, it had a lot of, like, they were going to be demons that could be summoned by humans. So there was going to be kind of more of, like, a human world and a demon world. And there were going to be, you know, human characters that summoned them. And they were almost going to be kind of like, you know, all over the shoulder, kind of like these jerky monsters that were interacting with humans. And that was kind of really early drafts. And then later on, I decided, you know what? No, I kind of want to keep it centralized, and I kind of want to do something more unique with the concept of hell, because a lot of cartoons are about hell, but none of them really, I mean, they're great, but I've never really seen one go into, like, hell theology, and there's a lot of, like, fun.
It's just a whole lot of, like, everyone suffering.
Yeah, like, it's a lot of kind of what you'd think hell is, which is, like, you know, just kind of people with horns and fire and like, obviously that's, you know, relevant, but, you know, it's just kind of, that's the setting, and then the show doesn't really utilize the fact that it's hell so much, and it's more so, you know, like, I don't know, as far as what I've seen.
I've actually got a question about the show, like, and I don't know if you're allowed to answer this or anything, but, like, so in the show, for everyone we've seen so far looks like a demon of some sort, or like some creature that's not human. So how does that work out in the show? Like, are they damned souls, or are they something else?
The way it works in this universe kind of is that each soul that dies as a human comes back as kind of a manifestation of that soul. So that's why everyone's kind of accustomed to, you know, whatever they look like. So there's a just unlimited in terms of how characters can look in this world. Cause some can look more human-y and some can look super monstery, and it's just, there's no real rule. It just depends on what they did or who they were. So that's kind of why all the characters kind of look really varied. Like, some are kind of animal-y, some are kind of monster, some are more human.
There's that. I like the punk rock raptor. That one's
I like the punk rock raptor. I'm biased though. So.
Yeah, I love drawing dinosaurs. So there's like a dinosaur gang that I made that might be really like, cool. If the show went further, they'd be like a villain kind of characters. And so I put them in because I was like, I already been drawing them, so I want to sneak them in.
And as we know, dinosaurs aren't actually real, and they were created by the devil.
Yeah, they're...
It's true.
Makes sense to put them in.
as my parents believed. Ugh.
Oh no.
It's depressing.
Okay, that's cool. I was curious about
if that's the logic for that. I wonder what that guy who was literally just a couch with a face.
Yeah.
His sin was gluttony.
His sin
was sloth. Yeah.
Yeah. His sin was like sitting on the couch, like while like, you know, something crazy was going on outside, and he just couldn't be bothered to get up and like help. He was just watching TV.
Screaming, help! I'm being stabbed! Save me!
Yeah, and he's just like, I don't know.
But Robot Wars is on though. I can't.
Need to catch up on Breaking Bad.
Yeah. No, but the show basically is just kind of a lot of things. Like I love villains. Like I love kind of dissecting why people like villains, and in a way, the show is kind of a perfect villain backstory show because all the characters are villains essentially because it's hell. But all of them had a life that kind of led them there. So, you know, in terms of the characters, you know, when we would go into their backstories or their origins and stuff, it would be kind of like, you know, finding out like, oh, what led this kind of villainy character to this and stuff like that. Cause that's just always been what I personally have always loved about villains. Like my favorite villains are the ones from Batman. So, you know, some of the most compelling ones are like the ones where you can kind of sympathize and see what led them to this, you know.
I'm really curious as to how the main character, I don't know her name, but the one who was singing in the music video.
Charlie.
Yeah. I'm just curious as to how she ended up in hell, because she's really optimistic and like happy and cool. I'm sure that that's probably like something you can't.
Oh no, I can say that. She's.
Oh really?
Yeah, she's the daughter of the devil, so she's born there.
Oh.
Yeah. So she is.
Yeah.
Quintessentially the princess of hell. So she's stuck there.
Didn't you kind of do like something like that for a thesis film? Actually.
Yeah. I've done my third year film at SVA, the school that I went to, was about a character from my webcomic who I also had like a hell theology and story in that one. I just love like hellish things. Like they're just fun. It's just a fun concept to toy with and
love
stuff.
hell.
Yeah, I
can't
love
wait to go there.
I love hell.
I'm guessing you must have read Dante's Inferno at some point.
Oh yeah.
Too.
No.
That one and
why would you read the lame book when you can play the cool game?
Yeah, exactly. But
that game was great.
I've never played it, but I've seen like the playthroughs of it because I don't play games a whole. But I like them.
It's super. Don't. The book's fine. Just don't.
Yeah.
I was joking. I heard that the game was god awful.
Oh, is it really bad? No.
No, it's just like super edgy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only playthrough of that I've watched is the one on your channel, Bung.
Oh yeah.
That was a powerful one.
Oh yeah. It's not a full playthrough though.
That's great.
There was a lot of vor in the gluttony level.
Oh no!
It was great.
Oh, I can imagine. That's kind of Glenn's thing.
That's how you know it's a good game.
Yeah, but yeah. When it comes to the thesis film was about my webcomics like universe, and in that one, I do have the son of the devil, so it's kind of different. Like the devil is in it. But his son is Damien, which is a play on like the Omen. Damien was the son of the devil, and they're very like Jackal themed because it's kind of a nod to that movie and like kind of the rules it put in place and the theology around that. But in Has Been, it's kind of like totally different. Like the rules of Has Been, like it's not really based in any one central religion. Like I'm trying to keep it just super open. Like the idea of hell is kind of universal in all of religion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's not any like specific religious figures that we're going to like utilize. Like it's kind of very broad. Like, I'm trying to keep it to rules that kind of are universal in almost every religion.
Anyone can relate to. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not really meant to be like a religious or anti-religious show. It's just supposed to be theology and fun. So Charlie is, a made up character. There's no real daughter of the devil in any major theologies or anything. So she's kind of just her own thing. But there is a lot of fun, like playing with like established like demons and hierarchies and stuff that doesn't get shown a whole lot in a lot of cartoons made about hell. Like, we're going to go into like, the kings and the sins and what they represent and all the like leaders and stuff. So
I always thought the fucking sins were a bit bullshit. It's kind of unfair. It's just like what pride?
Oh, yeah.
Are you gonna put pride as a sin?
Yeah,
it's bullshit. It's not fair. That's like a natural instinct when someone praises you.
Oh yeah,
emotion as sin.
All of them are
Bung,
pretty basic.
Bung, nice series. I like your series. Oh, you're going to hell now,
dude.
You like that?
Yeah, you're going to hell. You're going to hell because you're proud of something you did. Yeah. I think it's like usually more so like when you let that kind of drive your entire life, like when you're so prideful that you look down on everyone else and are just an asshole.
Oh, yeah.
That's more like ego and narcissism than pride. Like pride I've always associated with like a good thing of like just like taking pride in your work and being like enjoying something you made.
Yeah.
I've always associated it with a group of lions.
Yes, that's
only groups
that's the correct.
And crows because they're a murder.
Yes, they go to hell too.
That's awesome.
Oh, have you read any Hellboy actually?
Hellboy.
I have not, but I probably would really like it because I've seen part of the movie, and I really liked that, but I just haven't, it's one of those ones I haven't gotten around to
because they have their own sort of established hell universe and
that's
their
awesome.
hierarchy of demons, and they're all animalistic as well. And
That's
beautiful.
awesome. No, I love the art of it. I just haven't, like, gotten to read it yet, so I definitely would want it to, though, because I'm sure I would love it.
Yeah.
Is Satan an asshole in Hespen?
Well, no. We're still working on him, and I would try to tell you, like, who we kind of base the voice and, like, the idea for the character on, but that would kind of spoil things, but,
Danny DeVito.
That would be funny.
God.
I can say, like, polka music.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, no,
goofy.
yeah.
He's very goofy,
I know.
like, he's very, silly. Like, Charlie takes on a lot after her father. That's all I can really say, is that there's definitely a goofy side to the devil in the show.
I'm gonna Google,
I think I know who it is.
I'm gonna Google Danny DeVito Satan and see what comes up.
Oh god.
Danny DeVito would also be very funny to have.
Oh,
As a
God.
devil.
Pictures of
There's
his
so
feet
many
on
people
Twitter.
that would be really funny to, like,
Danny
play the
DeVito, Dan Schneider.
Dan Schneider. Oh
Dan Schneider.
Dan
Well, I gotta
Schneider.
use
The devil.
See,
Dan
Danny
Schneider
DeVito
is
wouldn't
the
be
devil.
in hell, but but Schneider,
Oh, you know
it's maybe.
You know what? This kind of looks like a little bit of a devilish thing.
Yeah, you know what? That is.
Danny DeVito, I just saw the Smallfoot movie, and he was in that. And he played such an earnest, like, adorable character. I really liked his performance in that. He played like a dad.
I'm so glad he's in that movie, because he keeps uploading pictures of his feet on Twitter, and I think that was a cry for help.
Oh no! He's putting pictures of his feet. I guess he just really wanted to get into the role.
He's an interesting fella. Can't say he's not an interesting fella.
He's pretty cool. Like, he just seems very passionate about everything he does. He seems like a really, really kind guy. I like him.
Passionate about feet.
He's passionate about feet, yeah.
Welcome to the Danny DeVito Appreciation Podcast.
Yeah,
we
love you,
Danny
Danny.
DeVito on?
Let's get Danny DeVito.
I want Danny.
God.
That's like the end game. That's end game.
Yeah, and once you get Danny DeVito, you have to stop. That's it.
Yeah,
you can't go any higher.
At that point, we just have ascended, and we just quit forever.
Bung, can you put that picture of Danny DeVito, like Jesus, as the image of the thing?
Oh Christ!
no.
Yeah, right. I mean, I think there's a bit of a line between a podcast and a celebrity guest host show, and I think Danny DeVito pumps us up to Graham Norton level.
Oh no.
In all fairness, like, it doesn't really matter once you get Danny Devito on.
Yeah.
I mean,
At that point, you've made it. No matter what you're doing, if you get Danny DeVito involved, you're there.
What are we fucking talking about?
Has been hotel.
It's become Danny DeVito. That's just.
Dude, can you make Danny DeVito Hotel where everyone's just a different variation of Danny DeVito?
I would love to have an episode where just Danny DeVito voices everyone. And then, like, one of them is voiced by, like, Justin Roiland, just to spice it up. Then they're all...
Imagine Inside Out,
best show.
but it's Danny DeVito's.
They're all...
God.
That would be great.
Whoa,
it's funny because
Matilda!
just before coming on, me and my roommate were talking about how much we'd love Danny DeVito and has been at some point, because we love Danny DeVito. Like, he's an actor that, like... he just seems like so much fun to work with. He seems to really like the projects he works on, like Always Sunny. Like, I think he originally, like, wasn't gonna be a main cast in that show, and then he just loved it so much, he was like, yeah, I'm gonna be in this now. And that's when it kind of took off, and that's just really cool. I think that's cool of him.
It is.
He's a cool guy.
It is, yeah. So back. Let's.
Yeah. So now going back.
Oh yeah. Are you working on the whole series at once and then going to release it in drones, or are you going to work on it each time?
So kind of the plan right now is that we have the first episode, fully written and boarded, and it's it's not totally done, but it's in essence it's done. We've got all the scenes, we've got all the imagery, we've got most of the recording of the lines. We just need, there's some audio stuff left, there's some little tweaks. But what I've been kind of wanting to do is I've been wanting to kind of do the first rung of production. So we have about 8 minutes of a 28-ish minute short. So it's like a solid first episode. Like we might cut it down a little bit, but for the most part, since this is an independent project, we don't really need to, there's not a whole lot. We're trying to restrict ourselves to like what a Netflix kind of episode would be, because that's kind of the goal is not, it's a streaming site. If the show was to be picked up, I would want it.
Is that like a goal to get it picked up?
I would like to try to get it picked up, just because that's the best way to actually tell the story properly. But I'm also like, I have a plan for if it doesn't get picked up, or if there's, complications with getting it picked up. I have a plan to kind of attack the rest of the series in a way that wouldn't take 30 years. Because, if we did every episode the way we're doing this one, it would not ever be made. You know what I mean? Like, it would not be told. Because the story it's not too long, but, it's like a couple seasons worth to tell, what is planned. So right now, it's just kind of working on the pilot and making the best thing we can. I picked like about 8 minutes of the whole thing to kind of do these, these short teasers, these clips that we've been releasing. Like there's a few more. And they're kind of like clips throughout the whole episode that kind of showcase each character in a little bit, give everybody a tease of every character, every performance. Yeah. But, these aren't like the 100% final. Like we're trying to finalize them best we can, but once we go in to do the entire episode, if we need to make any changes or if there are any mistakes, we're going to try and fix them like for the final. But these are kind of like semi-final teaser scenes that we're trying to get out right now. So that's kind of like the current goal, is to do these kind of test scenes to kind of craft the whole episode and know the art direction and everything, so that it's all ironed out, so that when we go to do the final, we know exactly like the basis for each setting's background and the color palettes and the animation kind we have a good rubric for the animation that's in place. So that's kind of the process. Like we're kind of doing it, we have the whole thing, but then we're kind of doing these tests. And that's what I'm releasing. And it's been really fun to release some of this stuff, like, as recently as we've been managing to.
I mean, I could easily see this thing getting picked up. Just like, you just put out clips, like, just, like a week, 2 weeks ago, 1.7 million views.
Yeah, no, it's been nuts. I'm blown away by the numbers, honestly.
Even on the animatic, like the unfinished animation got 1.3 million views. That's really good numbers.
It's crazy. Like I don't think the song has hit 1 million yet, but like it's
at
close.
989,000, so it's basically hit 1 million.
Yeah, so and
that was only 1 day ago.
That was a day ago. Yeah, that's nuts to me. And
especially in like current day YouTube, like back in like 2009 or whatever, it was easier to get animation to hit 1 million views, but today that's really hard.
Yeah, it's really humbling. Like the project itself has been like amazing, like for me, like just in terms of like I getting to work with so many artists that I looked up to, and so many like voice actors that I really love, and just getting to collaborate and create something, and seeing like the team have fun, and people enjoy these characters, like that's just the best, feeling for me. Like that's just, it makes it all worth it for me. And so seeing the audience reaction is just a whole nother, level of like, people really like this project. They want to see it happen. I want to see it happen. So that's why I'm not against, pitching it and seeing where it goes. And I'm definitely putting that in the cards. But, at the same time, we all are working really hard on this, and I want to show as much as I can. And I want to, it's also being very funded by like Patreon. So I want to make sure there's content that everyone, everyone gets what they funded and gets what, they were part of. Cause that's, when it comes to pitching, there's always that kind of chance that, something could maybe like, they'd be like, okay, well, this is ours now, so you can kind of chill, which, obviously is a possibility. But for me, like, I'd rather post a lot of content before that kind of thing would happen, before we get approached by anyone who wants to make it.
You want to tell the story you want to tell first.
If it was Netflix, though, I feel like they'd give you free reign or something, because Netflix seems to be very non-intrusive.
Oh yeah, Netflix is great. I mean, I don't know for a fact because I've never worked there, and but I know of it. I've heard plenty of stories about people who work there and their process, and that's why personally I want to aim for Netflix, because like Netflix is not only do I really respect the platform, but they just seem like they really don't have a lot of restriction, and they seem to be taking risks. And this project is kind of, it's not a risk, but it's different. It's a little more cartoony for an adult show, and it's also a musical. So it's like, its genre is a little all over the place.
Those numbers will definitely like help, because you've already proven that this is a successful product. Like,
people clearly like this stuff.
Yeah,
just for if the trailer alone got 2 to 3 million views, and you haven't even put out the first episode, I can't imagine like how many views that's gonna get when it comes out. Like, that's definite proof to any studio exec that people are interested in it.
Oh yeah,
it might not get like 2 million in a day on Netflix, but like even if it gets like 900,000 in a day, that's still really good numbers for a show.
Yeah, like I personally, on a personal level, I think it would do pretty well. Like I really don't want to toot my own horn, but just in general, like I think it's just, it's just fun enough that people who've never heard of it might find like, the imagery may be interesting. I'm sure it's not for everybody, but I feel like with the audience support that it has so far, and in the way Netflix seems to operate, like in terms of, they also have a really big adult animation kind of status right now. Like that's my main thing, why I think it would be a good fit there, because they have shows like BoJack, F is for Family, Big Mouth, like they've got a big adult animation kind of staple right now. So it would kind of be amongst that,
I think with Has Been a Hotel, I noticed the animation is like really good and fluid and active, and you got a lot of flowing hair and stuff like that. And is this all like, what do you think a budget for like something like this would be? Like, I can't say this for sure, but I think like a lot of passion obviously goes into this show. But like, if it were just like basic like studio budget and all that stuff, how much do you think like on average like an episode would cost to make?
Oh, that I have no idea. I don't know studio budgets like well at all. I have no idea.
Yeah.
All I know is the budget I'm working with like now, which I can't even give that because it constantly fluctuates. I'm lucky enough that I don't have student debt. So, I was able to save up a lot of the money I was making on freelance jobs, and I was living at home. So I was able to, kind of stow away a lot of money. And so, so I started with a good enough foundation, and then, since then I've been still working freelance and having money coming in on Patreon and everything that kind of feeds back into the budget. So, it's constantly like, I'm paying people and a huge hit to the budget happens, but then I'm able to kind of replenish shit kind of as I go. So it's kind of been like that back and forth for a while.
Yeah. You got the YouTube monetization on. That must be helping a little bit, right?
A little bit. YouTube, this is probably something that everyone knows by now, but YouTube isn't the most payout, they don't.
Yeah, but, especially for things under 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. But some of the clips have been making like a decent amount, like that definitely helps with the budget. And a few times I've managed little live streams, and the super chat option is really nice. Like I love that it gives people kind of an incentive to donate, and I try to do like request streams and stuff when I can, where people can like throw me $5 and I'll draw whatever character they want. I love doing those because those are like a nice way to like have fun and interact, but also make a little bit of money for the project. Because I prefer most of the money that I get from most things, like if it's YouTube or Patreon, I prefer that to go directly to the project's budget. So whenever I do things like in life and spend, that's usually why I'm working so much freelance, is because I'm like trying to make back like the money I spend on my own life and rent and stuff. So,
are you at all nervous that if like it did get picked up by Netflix with a smaller budget, you wouldn't be able to do as much as you want to, or?
Part of me always has that there is just in general, just this is just a general thing when it comes to pitching that I think more people who want to pitch should know, is that there's always kind of that risk that things are going to get changed, and the studio's obviously going to have input, and the budget might be limited. So sometimes you kind of have to pick, like, your budget is so much, and if you want a really fluid action scene or a really fluid musical scene or whatever,
you gotta
that's where the money so for me, my thing is, as long as the characters like were as expressive and like the drawings and the style like were fun and stayed in put, I wouldn't mind if some parts looked a little cheaper in terms of the movement, as long as there was able to have those really amazing fluid scenes that like, where that could be showcased. Kind of, for me, as long as the style and the characters look good, even if they're not moving that much, that's kind of my only. I'm okay with things being a little cheaper, but that is a nice thing about making this independently, is that we can kind of be as expressive and fluid all the way through as we want. So,
do you think that right now there's like sort of been a little bit of a resurgence in YouTube animation between Has Been Hotel, like Lord Bung, you get some decent views, and have you seen that pilot Cliffside on YouTube?
Yes. Yeah, no, I 100% think so. And Bung, I really need to see more of your stuff, because I want to check out and like promote more like animators, especially animators that are still making like cartoons. Nothing against like Storytime animators, like I think they're great too, but there is a lot of like, they're kind of what's seen as YouTube animation, and there's a lot of us still that do a lot of hand-drawn animation that we don't get noticed as much, which is fine, but like I definitely want to like promote.
It makes sense.
I want to promote as many YouTube animators.
It takes a lot more for like someone who's doing like a story-based cartoon to get like the publicity of a Storytime cartoon.
Yeah, like the thing with Storytime animation is that, again, it's really cool that they've kind of harnessed the YouTube system. Yeah. And I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Because they're able to do so many videos, like they can keep up with like the Let's Players and the other stuff, which is awesome. Yeah. But with animators like me or Bung, if you make like animations that take more time, it's a little harder to have that relevancy. So yeah, it's tricky to have an especially an independent pilot or something. Like, it is tricky, but I do think there is a resurgence of stuff, because there's mine, there's Cliffside, which I did see, and I think that's really cool too. I think that one,
I liked Cliffside.
Yeah, that one looked kind of like a mix of 2D animation and like kind of like a really cool After Effects like animation. Kind of.
I looked through it, and they used a lot of 3D props. Like anytime you saw a gun in that short, that was a 3D model.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, because it was a more complex prop that they didn't want to have to draw constantly. So
that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. No, that's it's really cool. And then I know there's also Long Gun Gulch that's being made right now, which is like the Western. I don't know if you guys have heard of that one, the Western. I think they're dropping their trailer this month as well.
Ooh.
But for me, I just love seeing all this 2D animation, like all these independent projects. Like the internet is such, it's been around for a while now, but it's still kind of a new frontier. Like, everything's kind of shifting to streaming. And so all these new ideas that are finding success on the internet, I really think, or at least I really hope, but I do think that it's kind of the future in terms of where ideas can start coming from. Like, instead of just pitching and hoping the studio likes your idea enough to maybe pick it up, I think there is more freedom in starting something yourself and then going to a studio later, or a studio coming to you or something. I think there's more of that. And that makes me excited, because I think that it's creators utilizing the internet for, unique storytelling.
Like, I get to use pretty much any song I want, as long as I don't get monetized.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It works perfectly. Except unless it's like a really big song.
Oh yeah. If you use the fucking
fucking Beatles, dude. Fucking Beatles. They're all dead, but
they're not all dead.
Oh right.
Max yelled at me about that, actually, Bun, because in like the last episode
yet.
I mentioned someone mentioned like four people that were all killed are all dead, and one of them was assassinated, and I said, I don't know, the Beatles, and then Max got mad and he says, the Beatles are not all dead, you idiot.
How dare you, sir.
He got mad at me over that.
No, like, yeah, the song things, because my channel, I kind of originally was doing fan animated song stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I love those.
Yeah, and I missed doing that, because that was just for fun, but obviously now I'm doing original stuff now, which is, it's not better, but I mean, or it's not more important, but it kind of is, I guess.
Well, I think that in the age we live in, more original stuff it's great to me, because I want to see more original stuff. I love fan content, like, that's really cool, but I just want to see a lot more like original stuff. More new characters to get attached to and stuff, because that's like the problem I have with Source Filmmaker is I can't do like real animation because I'm a small boy, so I stick with Source Filmmaker, but all I can do in Source Filmmaker is fan content, because every model I have is
Fans on the tail.
Shut up. Shut the hell up.
It's great. Hey, I loved it.
No, exactly. No, I'm like for me, like, I mean, I loved doing fan song animations just because, I would love the song so much, and I had such a specific image that I just was like, I want to get this out. I want to just do this. But
I feel it.
Exactly. But with doing original stuff, like, I'm kind of, because with all the fan stuff I would do, usually it would still involve my characters. So doing something original is just as gratifying, or definitely more gratifying, because I'm like, well, this is them. This is entirely them. This is, this can't be attributed to something else. And then maybe through working on my own things, I can work my way up to, eventually collaborating with the people who make the music that I wanted to fan animate before. You know what I mean? Like, that's the goal. The goal is to someday not be fan animating, but to be like animating.
However, there is a big problem with doing fan animated music is that by the end of it, you'll fucking hate the song every time.
For some reason, I've never had that problem. I can still listen to Die Young and enjoy it.
Oh, God. I did, do you know Voltaire? Like,
yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I did a few Source Filmmaker music videos for a few Voltaire songs that I really liked, but I cannot listen to them now.
Oh, no.
When you animate something, you have to go frame by frame, and then you hear each frame of the song, and you just like, I want to stop.
That is, I can totally see that. For some reason, I'm just immune to like repeated sounds and like repeating songs and listening. I did go through a big break of the song though. Like, I didn't listen to it for a while. So now when I listen to it again, I'm like, oh, I love this song. Like, there's a reason I animated this song. I love this song. So
I have that too, but like if it's something I did a music video for, then there's no going back. Like I tried listening to When You're Evil the other day, and all I can just see the Source Filmmaker interface in my head, and it never leaves.
Sometimes that happens for me. Like I'll remember what I animated because this is probably a thing for most animators, but I can't always rewatch stuff that I did after a certain time. Like I'm like, all right, I can't watch Die Young like again, like not for a while. Cause I just, I'm like, I see all the mistakes. I see all the
Well, do you do that thing, like the second you upload it, that's the next thing you watch for like the next 3 weeks is you just watch your own video, like hours and hours and hours just on repeat, just looking for the little mistakes you made.
I'll usually watch it like a few times just to make sure everything like flowed well and it all was compact. And if I spot some things, I'm like, oh crap, I missed that. But after a certain amount of time, I stop watching it. Like I'm kind of like...
It's the opposite. It's the opposite for me. I upload and it's dead to me for a few weeks.
Oh yeah.
I go back to see, hey, what's going on?
Do you ever get that thing where you make something new and you look back at your old stuff and you're like, well, why can't I do as good as this anymore?
Sometimes, actually. Like, sometimes I will watch... it's more so because I had so much energy back then. Like, I could just... I could knock out, a 30-second animation in, like, a day or 2 days, a week. And I would be like... And so now I'll look back on that and I'll be like, where did that speed go? Where did that energy go?
Pixel art that I used to do.
Yeah, I'm just like,
I have I even have like paid jobs that I can't be fucked to get to now. I just don't have the energy for it. You go ahead, Bob.
I try to improve every episode because I'm not like
you absolutely do. I noticed that frame rate going up every episode, Bob.
Because I'm not like a fantastic animator, so every episode I'm learning new things. So every episode I'm subsequently more proud of.
Oh yeah.
But I did, on the topic of collaborating with music, I did have to collaborate writing a song and having a really good musician, Ivory Rasmus. I think he's been on the podcast.
He has. He was on episode
server we mentioned earlier.
He was the he was the episode that got a Soldier Boy to attack us.
Oh no!
Oh my god!
Oh no!
Oh really?
Soldier Boy.
Episode.
Oh, Vivzie, we made fun of a Halo 3 machinima he made once, and like we showed a little like 30-second clip out of it, and he's like, "That's mine. I'm going to copyright claim this entire pod."
It's really weird because we played the entirety of a song by Smash Mouth.
Oh my god!
And nothing came from that. It was just Soldier Boy.
See, Smash Mouth doesn't care though. They like
Smash Mouth is
cool. They know that they're a meme. They play
I love
it.
Smash Mouth.
Smash Mouth they know how to be a meme correctly.
Yeah, exactly.
So would we get in trouble if we made fun of Soldier Boy now?
Oh
no,
well, all I know about Soldier Boy. I just remember Soldier Boy had that one song that, like, I used to, back when I was in high school, I used to use for AMVs. Just that really weird... Yeah, that one.
That one.
That's all I remember.
Yeah, well...
That's all I know.
That's his only song.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he was listening to this right now because he is a deadbeat, wash-up little asshole.
Does he actually, like, pay attention to what, like, every person who talks about him in 2008?
I don't know, but I'd like to think he does.
He's looking for relevance.
He's gonna call. He's gonna make a call out at a podcast with 1,000 subscribers.
Oh no!
He's like, oh, those fuckers.
Oh no! That's kind of
on my cast.
It's kind of funny that you have an enemy in Soulja Boy.
We won a copyright dispute because he didn't want to take us to court over it.
Well, no,
it just didn't feel
it's fair use. I figure
it's fair use because first of all, we were talking.
Well, also you didn't
over
use
it
very
for the
much
most-
of it, right?
We used 30 seconds, and we were just like, it's not the whole thing. It's like it's a Halo 3 machinima that he doesn't even have monetized, so he can't make any money from it anyway.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
you Soulja Boy, tell him.
Max, can you bleep out the mean things I said about the Soldier Man?
Bung's starting
Please
drama
don't.
on Twitter with Soulja Boy.
Because usually
might
the
wanna
enemies
get
that
him
I
to be a
accidentally
voice
make on
actor.
the internet are like Cool Cat or
oh God, Cool Cat.
Did you make an enemy
Or,
of Cool Cat? I thought that.
Oh,
Was
everyone's an enemy
Okay,
of
because-
Cool Cat. Cool Cat sucks.
True.
I'm probably the only person alive who just never liked Cool Cat. Like, I thought it was funny.
I never understood
I thought it was funny, but I always found it just cringe.
It was.
Oh.
I
Cringe, yeah.
I didn't like it until he started getting mad at people.
Well,
and I
yeah,
thought,
like-
wow, this is kind of hilarious.
Well, it was everything about it was
Big
hilarious.
crybaby.
That's definite. But just his attitude was just so like actually creepy to me. It just is like, oh yeah, I'm teaching
No,
the
yeah,
kids, not.
I love babies.
Yeah,
Actual line from Cool Cat.
I still love I still love like the shot where you can see the person coming out of their
Yeah, they
house,
come out.
and then they go back in because they see the camera, and
That is
that's the best
That's
one. That's pretty funny.
Tommy, does anyone else find Tommy Wiseau a little bit sad now? Because like
I don't know much
do-
about him.
Do you see him on? I see him on Twitter all the time, and he's always just like
Well, he just
I
looks
feel like-
sad.
he's always trying to like recapture the glory of the room. I
Yeah.
feel.
I mean,
Whereas
that's
you got Neil Breen over here popping out hits left and right.
that's the problem with kind of making something that becomes like a meme and becomes kind of so bad that it's good, is that once you kind of know that, you can never recreate that because
Well,
it was so authentic the first time.
that's the thing with Neil Breen is that he doesn't care about what the people have to say about that shit. He
Oh.
does not give a shit at all. So what he does is what he says is if people like it because they think it's funny, that's fine, but I don't cater to those people. I'm making this
Oh, that's
because this is my art and I'm going to
See-
express it how I see fit.
Yeah,
See, then he's set.
I appreciate
He won't ever.
Yeah.
The well will never run dry for him
And
because
and
that's
he's-
that's all people want.
And he's not like taking people down as well. He's like, this
Yeah.
isn't how you're
No,
supposed
he's
to interpret.
being-
He's just like, if you like it, that's fine. That's not what I was intending. But go ahead, whatever.
No, that's great.
Brilliant.
Like, I don't
Yeah.
know, when people like want to make fun of something you do, like, I don't know, to me, as long as it's kind of like in good spirit, like
Yeah.
that's it. When you're trying to like, really, harass or
Yeah,
really like
there's-
slander or something, that's different. But if someone just thinks something's stupid and wants to make fun of it, like that's
Yeah.
it's funny.
There's two types of criticism that I think are good, and that's like making a meme out of it, like just not intending to be an ass or just just be funny.
no, just have fun.
Or just genuine, pure criticism. Like, all right, this
Yeah.
constructive criticism. Like this shot, you could have made the animation here more bouncy or something like that. That kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, normal.
Then
normal
there's the assholes who are
criticism's
like,
important.
This fucking sucks. Fuck.
Yeah. Well, my thing is that, like, on the subject of criticism, like, I think my thing is that criticism is incredibly important, but your tone kind of is important as well. Like, you can have the most valid points in the world, but if you are like saying, like, for example, I won't name the video because but it was a really long video of someone critiquing a show. And a lot of their points were really, really valid, and I agreed. And I was like, yeah, this is why I don't like this show either. Like, this is all true. But I hated the video, even though, like, I don't like the show that they were talking about. I despise the video because they were just sitting there calling the creator an asshole. They were like, the creator
I know
is
exactly the video.
you
you're
probably
talking about.
do. But,
Yeah.
they were
I'm not
just
gonna
sitting
say
there. Yeah. they were just sitting there like saying, oh my God, the creator is a fucking moron and horrible person and all this stuff. And I was just sitting there like, dude, all your valid points are completely unvalidated by this. You know what I mean? Like, you can make amazing points, but when you're gonna attack someone like that, it's like, come on,
not called for.
It's a show.
It is a show. There's this whole like thing on YouTube right now of being really, really vitriolic in reviews, and I don't know, I don't like that so much because when they take it that seriously, it makes me like uncomfortable as well.
Well, exactly, like that's
someone like IHE. Like I like IHE. And but he never attacks the people behind it. Like he'll make a joke at the creator's expense. Like, I think this guy's a bit of a nutter, but he won't say like this guy's a fucking idiot.
No, exactly. Like, no, it's fine. Like, it's fine to criticize the creator or, you know, whatever. Like, it's fine. Like, but when you are like attacking them as a person and like, and just like, to me, that's just really, it's like, okay, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's so uncalled for, and it just kind of, to me, it doesn't, obviously the points still stand, but to me it invalidates the argument because it's just also, like...
What if it turns out that they personally know the creator?
Okay, well you still
then it's kind of a biased, you know, then it's kind of a biased opinion. You know?
Also
it's kind of hard to...
Let me see my wife.
If you are making criticism of someone, then you will never get the opinion, the creator's like vision to change when you're like being
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I think I mean. Like, you know, that creator isn't gonna see this and go, yeah, you're right, I should, you know what I mean? Most of the time they'll probably double down or they'll just, you know, it makes you look bad. That's what it is. It makes you
a lot.
And all your points look bad if you act like that. That's the thing.
That's a lot of I don't want to like stay on this for too long, but that's
I'm sorry.
Lot of, I think, what happened. No, that's a lot of what I think happened with like the Star Wars thing. That's why I think Rian Johnson is a bit defensive, is because the people who were criticizing him were being really fucking mean about it.
Yeah, exactly. No, like my point on this is totally not like criticism is very important and it's valid. Yeah. It's just, if you are going to criticize something, just be careful of your tone, because you can invalidate your criticism with your tone, because that's why people will come and defend it. You know, that's why people will go, hey, don't say this about, you know what I mean? Like, that's why you're going to get the reaction. If you handle your criticism as professionally as you want the person taking it to take, you know what I mean? Like, give it professionally so that they can take it professionally. You know what I mean? That's my only thing.
Have you ever seen like a really dickhead comment in on a video of yours and then replied to it and then they immediately back off?
Sometimes, like I try not to respond only just because, you know, I get a little anxious with like back and forth. Like I read the comments when there's criticism. I definitely do read it, and I'm definitely like, oh, you know what? Like for example, one was with one of the clips, somebody caught something that I did not catch, and I was like, oh crap, like, and it was a good catch, and now we're gonna fix it for the fun, you know what I mean? So someone noticed like one of the shots was inconsistent, where the window of the divider of the limo, like there was one shot where it was up when it should have been down, and like, you know, the shots lining up, like that was, and people called that out, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's wrong. And I totally could have fixed that. So, you know, stuff like that is it's really important, but, you know.
But it is kind of funny to when you do reply to them and then they immediately back off because they didn't expect you to actually read it.
Yeah. Like, sometimes that happens. Sometimes for like, if there's like a really weird, like mean one that like, cause normally, you know, I mean, mean comments are par for the course, so I'm used to them. But sometimes there's one that's just really weird and really dumb, and I'll try. My sense of humor is kind of like the problem with the internet is that in text you can read something however you want. Yeah. So it's hard because my normal tone is kind of like this, where I'm like really jokey, like I'm very like kind of sarcastic. So sometimes my response is I write them sarcastically, but then like the person, you know, like I've had people go like, whoa, geez, calm down. And I'm like, I'm not, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like it's almost
that.
like they read it like they upset me more than they actually did. And I'm like, oh crap, I made a mistake here.
If you're gonna be a jokey asshole about something, then you gotta make sure you're being really obvious about it.
Yeah.
Because, like if I say, hey Raptors, you smell like poop or something. Like, you know because we're friends. I don't have to differentiate my tone.
Yeah, exactly.
Sparky, I can't believe you said that on the podcast.
No,
this is literally recorded.
Censor it out.
I've said like, it's funny because, you know, friends of mine, like we've tweeted at each other and like I've said things like, you know, you're being a bully and stuff like that. And people have like jumped on and tried to defend me. But obviously I'm like, I'm totally joking because like I know them or I live with them.
Moment
and we're just giving
for
each
all the
other
people on Twitter who were jokingly telling their friends that they were going to kill them.
Yeah.
And then got suspended.
Yeah, two of my friends jokingly told Sparky, they said the exact same tweet. And they both got suspended within a minute.
Oh,
it was terrifying.
No, yeah, you can't.
Sparky, I'm gonna kill you
say
if
that.
you don't shut up. And then just like,
It was like...
there should be like a thing where you can get the person they were directing it to like be like, it was a joke.
To be like, no, it's fine.
It's, it doesn't make any sense at all.
No.
So
well, if we do have a sarcasm emoji, then actual killers will just use it.
Well, okay, the little, like, thinking emoji basically is the sarcasm emoji. Like, come on, like...
Is that the sarcasm
then everyone
emoji?
will start using it.
Well, hold on.
I wish you could use emojis in, like, YouTube comments, because that would make... Like, if you could reply...
You can on mobile, but...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because if you could reply with, like, images, if it was, like, Twitter... Then it would be so much easier.
No. You do not want
image
YouTube
comments on YouTube.
Oh, that's true.
YouTube comments to have images. You don't even
Oh,
want
that's
to have
true.
links.
That is
Fuck.
true. It would be probably worse than it.
It would be so... remember when they gave them unlimited text to put in the comment section? And then everyone started posting, like, penises made out of text?
Yeah.
God.
You want that with real penis?
My roommate, sometimes... To troll like the YouTube system, he'll post like the entirety of like a Wikipedia article in response to people. So it's just a reply that's like, 3 pages long. It's huge. I always think that's funny. Yeah.
Funny.
I was getting a real hardcore cyberbully the other day.
Oh no!
What happened?
There was this tweet about some guy thinking that depression wasn't a chemical, and that if you are depressed, then you should kill yourself. It's like, whoa. And then I said, oh, well, that's kind of silly because that would imply that my doctors are lying to me. Blah blah blah. And then he got real mad at me and called me a dummy. And then I thought for a moment, I could just retweet this and have like hundreds of people descend upon him. But I'm not going to. But then somebody just as big as me did it anyway. So.
Oh no.
You see, that's like a thing. Is I always hate it when someone who's big gets into an argument on Twitter and then quote tweets just like, "Get 'em, boys." Essentially.
Oh, that's I
don't like it. Even if they are awful, abhorrent people, I still wouldn't do that.
It's a dick thing to do because it's just
it's like a homeless person screaming on the street. Even if it was like a neo-Nazi homeless person, I'm just walk away.
Yeah,
it's also feeding them attention, which
is
kind of what they're looking for.
Yeah,
homeless people don't deserve feeding. Yeah, exactly, Raptors.
I'm gonna put that on my gravestone.
That's a good quote. That's a quality quote.
No, yes, people just want to find a lot of, they just want to bring, especially if they don't, if they don't like your work, that's fine, but I don't understand the idea of, I don't like this person's work, so I'm going to try to bring them down. It's like,
probably like jealousy or whatever.
I guess. I don't know.
It's way easier to tear other people down than to bring yourself up. That's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is hard shit. I remember Mr. Bung. You've come very far in very little time. You did a good job.
I was tearing you down, Sparky.
Well, exactly. I remember I left a comment on one of your earlier videos that said, "Damn, how come I have more substance than you? That's just crazy. You put more work in, and now look where we are now." You
We are
have
now.
way more.
And now, Sparky, you have to tear Bung down.
I have to tear Bung down. Bung exposed, coming soon.
But a lot of them, I imagine, are kind of dead because of how long it takes in between episodes. So
I don't think so, because you still get a fuck ton of views. You get your view to sub ratio is a bit crazy. You have like
It's alright.
You have a 300,000, and like each episode of the SCP show gets like at least 1 mil.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
It's alright.
Oh wait, no, I need to tear you down. It's garbage. Look at the views on the confinement Q&A. 80K? What, are you fucking stupid?
Yeah,
I'm gonna
garbage.
quote tweet this.
Do not. No, don't send your fans after me, Bung. Don't have your fans tear me down, please.
Most of my fans are just gonna be like, "When's episode 6 coming out, Bong? When's episode 6?"
Oh yeah, Bung, when is
Every
episode 6 coming out?
day.
Yeah.
Your mama.
Okay.
No, like that's the thing that I try to remind myself too, is that for all the people that try to bring things up or to tear you down or to, targetedly harass,
Yeah.
there are way more people that are
I love
supportive and rational and,
That's-
can actually think for themselves and do research and find out. You know what I mean? Like, there's so
That's
many more
like-
people that
That's
can do that.
that's like the curse. Like that's the curse of the brain. The brain is always remembering the bad things. You could get 300,000 comments on a video,
Oh,
and
yeah.
if there's 5 bad ones, you'll be like, people fucking hate it.
Exactly. No, it's very human. It's very human to be like, oh,
Is focus
some
on the
people really
negatives.
don't like it. Maybe it's not good, but at the same time, then the way I always rationalize it is, I'm passionate about musicals. I love musicals. I think they're amazing.
Yeah.
I don't
What
understand.
are some of your favorites?
Oh, that's a good question. Hello Dolly is one of my tops. Annie is my top because it's special.
Yeah.
But it's, in terms of just in general, definitely Hello Dolly. I love Chicago. I mean, I love Something Rotten. I'm looking around my room. Dear Evan Hansen's a big one for me. I'm in love with Be More Chill right now and Mean Girls. Those are like the two recent ones that I'm like really in love with right now. I love so many. Greatest Showman is my new favorite movie. Like, I love
Greatest Showman.
It's so good. Cats Don't Dance is my favorite animated movie. I love La La Land. I love musicals. I'm a musical fanatic. Like, I have a Playbill collection, like, huge. Oh no. The Peter.
I'm gonna need you to see Dear Peter Griffin.
Tony Award Best Musical.
Oh no.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh, it's a Dear Evan Hansen reference. That's like
Yeah.
it's wonderful.
Oh no.
But no, like, the way I always see it is like, I'm so passionately in love with this genre and this art form. And, a lot of other people are too. But then, I'll meet a person or people will be like, man, I hate musicals. And obviously they are not wrong to think that, but I just sit there and I think like, how?
Yes,
I'm just like, how? And to me, I always think about that whenever these people, there's people who don't like something. I just remind myself, like, there is no way to please there's always going to be a person that doesn't like the things that you like and doesn't like the thing you're making. Like, it's just a rule. It just will never not be a person like that.
But then again, on
and
the
they're
other
not
side
wrong.
of the coin,
They're not wrong.
There's
They're not
always
wrong,
going to
but
be
you're
someone
not
who
wrong.
does like it, though.
What?
Which is a more positive look at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Glass
exactly.
half full. Glass half
Exactly.
full. There you go.
Mhm.
What are some of
Exactly.
your Vivzie? Oh, you go ahead, Bob. What were you gonna say, boy? What are you gonna say? This better not be another Peter fucking Griffin. I swear to God.
Can we all watch
Is it-
this
Oh,
no,
together
it's
right
another
now?
Peter
Oh god, no.
While waiting.
Yes.
Oh,
Tell me
no.
when.
Okay,
tell
I
me
need
when to
to
start.
see that.
We'll all watch it in sync. All right.
Okay, this
Okay.
is my voice as well.
Oh Christ! All right.
All right.
When-
3, 2, 1.
Step out of the sun because you're burn, because you burn on the outside.
Oh my God, this is great.
Bung, I regret inviting you to this.
This is perfect. Oh my god.
I
You have to,
worst person.
you have to have this like playing in the background.
Bung, do we have your permission to put this on the screen?
Yes, sure.
This is
Fucking
great.
light effect.
The lighting, yeah, the flickering.
This gets the retweet.
Oh,
perfect.
Amazing.
Why did I do this? I think it's in one of my videos actually, like right at the end.
Oh, Bung, did you get claimed for this? Because it's Family Guy footage.
Oh god, no, I'm good. Oh, actually, let me check.
Yeah, just to make sure so we don't get claimed.
Wasn't it at the end of the Cars video?
It's at the end of one of my Cars video.
When Lois like lowers her head.
Yeah!
Oh my god! The ending is perfect. Oh my god.
Bung,
It's
you're
wonderful.
Thank you.
You're a bad person.
Oh, that was perfect. I loved that. I just, for some reason, Family Guy memes always get me. So combining that with...
Did you see the recent one? Did you see the recent one?
Is there a new one?
There's the one where it's like fucking Peter Griffin turns into Sans.
Oh my god, yes! I've seen that. I've seen that, yeah. Oh, that was great.
You know what annoys me is that fucking... I live in Rhode Island. Family Guy is the only thing we're known for, and we don't even speak like that.
No, yeah, it's. I live. I've seen all of Family Guy, but I actually unironically love American Dad, and I live, or I don't anymore, but I used to live right near Langley. Like we would go by there all the time, and I didn't know it was real because I don't. We didn't live near enough to it to go there all the time, but.
Yeah.
After I watched the show, we started going more towards that area, and I was like, I didn't know this was a real place. It's actually a real place. So I thought that was funny.
I kind of want to go to where Sparky lives and see where Brian got run over.
You want to go there, Bung? Bung, if you come to Rhode Island, I have a car. I'll take you. Okay, we can.
Don't run over Brian. Though.
We can go visit. We can go visit and pay our respects.
It's a Brian Griffin.
The Brian Griffin Memorial. It would not surprise me if there was an actual Brian Griffin Memorial on that street. Because honestly,
if I saw it, my soul would leave my fucking body. If I saw a Brian Griffin Memorial.
Rhode Island has a fucking obsession with that awful show.
It's like when you go to Toronto and there's a bunch of Scott Pilgrim stuff everywhere.
We're really proud of it because it's the only thing we have here.
It's like how where I'm from, the only thing we have is the Wurzels. It's just a weird band, and it's
Wurzels.
The Wurzels. They did the Combine Harvester,
Oh, I've got a Combine Harvester.
Yeah, I got a brand new Combine Harvester.
Thought you meant they invented the Combine Harvester.
No,
that
would be impressive.
Vivzie, I got you a question. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of your favorite soundtracks? And this can be from anything, like movies, games, shows, from whatever.
So soundtracks specifically, or just albums?
Soundtracks.
Okay. Most of my favorite soundtracks are musical soundtracks. So, I'd say in terms of the cast recordings that I just keep going back to and I'm really addicted to, I'm definitely all of Something Rotten, all of Mean Girls, minus one or two songs.
I feel like that's kind of cheating.
Oh, okay. So musicals are you talking about movies or
like
orchestral soundtrack?
Yeah.
Orchestral
not specifically orchestral, but something that's playing in the background that's not meant to be the primary focus.
Okay.
Okay.
I think my top then would be the Spirit soundtrack. I think the score in that movie is beautiful. So that one.
I think the score outside of Bryan Adams singing,
Yeah. Well, yeah, outside of I like those songs too, but the score of it, I think is, the best part.
Beautiful.
And for some reason, even though this movie it's not really good or bad, but everyone forgets about it, but I think it has a brilliant soundtrack, is Dinosaur, the Disney movie.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, it has a great soundtrack.
I remember.
I can't remember. I was a dumb baby when I saw it.
The score of that movie is probably better than the movie itself. There's one track.
I have no doubt. No doubt.
But it's great. I love that one. Love that soundtrack. I remember when I was younger, I used to listen to the Horton Hears a Who score soundtrack a lot, because that's John Powell, and his music is really good.
I always just I listen to soundtracks like wherever I go. For some reason I just like I find soundtracks way more appealing to me than just standard music, like any kind of song that's meant to be like released as its own thing. I like soundtracks because it just helps like make a mood for me.
Yeah, no, yeah. It does. Like, for me, soundtracks, like, are good to relax. You know, they're good to, like...
They help with work. They help with work a lot.
Yeah.
Because, like, both soundtracks and podcasts are really good to work with. Because soundtracks are usually, like, especially with games these days, game soundtracks can be upwards of, like, 8 hours long or some crazy shit.
I only really started appreciating soundtracks and how effective they were when I saw a horror movie called Under the Skin.
I think I've heard of that one. I haven't seen it.
I started playing it while I was reading this horror story. I just played it in the background. It was really, really unsettling. It's the kind of... It's almost like a musical version of, I don't know, scratching on a rusted can. It's really upsetting to hear.
Bung, bung, bung. Did you see that movie? Oh, what the fuck was it called? They were in like a forest. The Shimmer. Fuck. What? It was like related to Darkwood. The fuck was it called? Annihilation.
Oh, I have not yet. No.
Oh. Has anyone else seen Annihilation?
Nope.
No, I heard it was really good though.
Annihilation had both a really excellent soundtrack and a really stupid soundtrack.
Good.
It flopped because like there were these bits where it's just like the lady and her husband or something, and they're like sitting on the couch together being cute and shit, and I'm like, yeah, back to the crazy forest. But the soundtrack during that was this like really like, you know, the guitar, it almost felt like one of those Christian movie guitar songs.
Oh no.
Da 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 da. Oh no. But then the other. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I really like any soundtrack in any Edgar Wright movie.
Oh yeah, well Edgar Wright is very good at that sort of thing.
Baby Driver.
Yeah.
But then the other parts of the Annihilation soundtrack were these really creepy, like unnerving scores. It was awesome. I fucking loved it. It was just a weird contrast. So we're getting near the end here. If you want to stop, or if you want to keep going, or whatever you want to do.
Hell yeah. I'm just thinking about soundtracks I like.
Sorry, I got distracted a little bit there. But I'm back in the game.
Okay.
What? Why the fuck you invite me, Sparky?
I invite you because you're an animation boy. Yeah. You do those.
You did the amazing Dear Evan Hansen Family Guy cover.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. I love that.
Oh. I want to retweet that.
Oh, Vivzie, you liked. I saw you liked the episode of ours where we had Kevin Manthe on. You liked his stuff?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I'm a huge Zim fan, like an enormous Zim fan. So lately I've been getting kind of falling back into my childhood self because Zim is definitely my favorite kids show without a doubt. Yeah. Like it's my favorite show I grew up with. I think seconded only by like the Batman show, like the Batman animated series. And it's just everything I love, and it was a huge influence on me as a kid. Like when I was a kid, I used to draw in that style and be edgy.
I can kind of see it. I can kind of see it.
Yeah, you can.
I love it. I love how sharp everything is.
Oh,
like,
I love.
Angular.
Oh yeah, like like it's definitely my, like up my alley, and stylistically, it was a huge influence on my like art and stuff. But I kind of avoided it for a while, not because I didn't like the show, but because like,
Distinct.
I felt like, you know, it had too much of an influence on like my art and stuff, and I was kind of like, you know, because I was young and I was drawing kind of in the Zimmy style, in the Jonan Vasquez style, and so I kind of wanted to take a step back and go, you know what, I need to vary my style. I need to have other artists influence my style, other shows, and you know, I kind of grew out of that style. So I didn't go back to the show until more recently, and I rewatched it and I was like, this holds up insanely well.
Yeah. I'm watching it. I'm watching it with our show's artist Sneak right now, and she'd never seen it before, and she's like, "This is fucking funny," because she
no,
loves
it's hilarious.
Dumb humor. The show's humor is so dumb, and it's great.
I love it because, you know, most people think that the show is kind of just the random, you know, just the like raw waffles and Gurr.
They remember Gurr.
They remember Gurr, but rewatching it, I'm like, man, this show, it's got a lot of subtle humor. It's got a lot of like kind of weird, just random violence, and the characters are just so mean. It's so funny. It's just a very fun show.
Well, I think a lot of people, they just confuse over exaggeration for randomness, because like when Zim says, like when Zim screams like, "My business is done," as he comes back from the fucking toilet. Yeah,
it's the joke is that he's so not normal. And everyone thinks he's normal.
That's not random. That's like a dictator who's like really excited and like energetic about everything he does.
Yeah, that's just his character.
Great. He's just, he thinks he's like the greatest living being.
Yes, so exactly.
So everything he does is an event. You know?
Yes. No, he's. I love the character of Zim. I think he's great. I think the fact that the entire show is. The basis of the show is that his leaders hate him and they sent him to a planet they don't care about. That is genius. That is genius.
I always love it because one of the things that always get me about alien invasion shit is like, why would any species ever pick Earth? When
exactly.
We don't have any like materials here. Like water is really available. Everything we have on Earth is more readily available anywhere else. All we have is like human, like, and even then, if there's other sentient life out there, why pick us? You know, who cares? We're not even that special. So then when they sent him away, just like, go to this shithole, like, take that over. I love that because that's an excuse to get rid of him and send him to the one planet no one would bother taking over anyway.
I think maybe we should like shout out some smaller animators on this episode.
We should. We should.
Like Lord Bung.
Good point.
Like Lord Bung. We should shout out.
No,
Lord
not
Bung.
me. Not me. I hit 300,000 just yesterday.
We should.
LordBung.com.
I have
LordBung.com.
I have one that I'd like to shout out. I
have one as well.
I need to find her.
Yo, I got someone. I don't know if you guys have heard of him, but there's this really cool guy out there. He's Oni NG. You know,
the tiniest of YouTuber. He's a friend of mine. I love Chris. Chris is great. He's adorable.
Did he get suspended?
He got. Yeah. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, he got suspended on Twitter. I think he's back. He's back, right?
Oh,
I think so.
I'll check.
From what I saw, because I don't know exactly, but. From what I saw, he was just jokingly saying, I'm gonna kill you, because someone tweeted, another friend of mine tweeted, like, a joke Hellbenders, intro, and was like, oh, here, Hellbenders is coming. And so Chris was like, I'm gonna kill you. And then he got suspended. And I felt bad. I was like, oh, that was just clearly just jokes all around. But, you know, sometimes you shouldn't joke about a show coming.
Don't get funny.
No, Twitter doesn't approve of jokes like that. But we should shout out small YouTubers, because I would love to do that. One that I always want to shout out is Joanna Davidovich. She made Monkey Rag, the animation Monkey Rag, which everyone should watch.
Oh no!
Oh no!
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. We had Bung come on and he was just joking about monkeys for half an hour.
It was a weird episode.
Oh no!
It was amazing.
I'm sorry. Go continue. Continue to shout out.
But she did this animated music video for a song called Monkey Rag, and it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful 2D animation. Her channel just is just really underrated. Like her animation's far better than mine.
Do you have a link so I can?
Yes. Let me find her.
I found the video.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Oh, I've seen that.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. Absolutely amazing. So I'm very shocked, one, that this video doesn't have way more views than it does. I mean, it's got some steady views now, but for a while it was really, really like it didn't hit 1 million for like a really long time, and I was like, how?
I saw it in my sub feed like every day, and I not my sub feed, but my recommendation feed.
Oh, good. Okay, so it made a big. Okay, good. Because for a while I was like, why aren't more people talking about it? But no, that's a beautiful one. And then just in general, her channel should be way bigger. She's amazing.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. What you got, Bung?
I've got Super Science Friends. They're doing their own series, comedy, history, science series. They're up to their 5th episode right now, and they're working on their 6th as well. And they are fucking hilarious. They're a studio out in Canada, in Toronto.
Didn't you have them like come on your channel for a little bit and do something?
We've been on both of each other's channels before, and I'm going to be voicing in one of their episodes soon. It's beautiful. It's really simple, but the art is gorgeous, and there's a really, really lovely, simple, flat style to it. And it's all a passion project. They're not getting paid to do it at all.
Wow.
They're just doing it in their spare time in between commissions from whatever they need to do. They, like Nickelodeon and stuff, so.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. That isn't that like that reminds me of that one show, like there's this like, what was it, like Skull Cop or something?
Skull Cop.
Like Hell Cop or something like that. It was just like, it was this really like, I'm not calling the Super Science Friends shitty, but like it was this really like shittily animated thing that was like, it was intended that way. It was a joke, and and it's like a PNG of a skeleton cop. He looks like Ghost Rider, and he's going down like, oh, I'll save you, civilian, and he'll like pop in and fucking blow up both the mugger and the civilian, and then just right away like, day saved.
Oh my gosh!
Amazing. I also want to shout out this video of a cat.
What the fuck?
Can't go wrong with cat videos.
It's not even a video, it's just a still image. Oh my god.
It's just a still image of a Tumblr download.
Theme.
Oh no.
Tetris theme being played on a balalakai.
Why? What is the purpose?
I just got sent it, and it automatically downloads for me.
Yeah, I'd like to fucking. She's not a animator. I'd just like to shout out Dr. Neek.
Dr. Neek.
Really, she's our thumbnail artist. She's really cool.
Oh, I can't. Yeah. Oh, major props to them, because I love the thumbnails. Like the thumbnails are actually. One of the reasons why I was like, yeah, I'm down to go on this podcast is because I was like, these thumbnails are so eye-catching. Like it's really, they're really unique. They're really colorful. I was like I love the Kevin one. I mean, that's great.
I love that one too. Oh, did you see the Darkest Dungeon one?
Oh my god, the Darkest Dungeon.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
Oh, okay, hold on. Let me grab that one for you. It's so good. So you've heard of the game fun. Darkest Dungeon, right?
I've heard of it, yeah.
Yeah. So for that episode, she wanted to try replicating the style of the game.
Ooh.
For the thumbnail, and I think she did a really good job. Let me grab it real quick.
Let's see it.
Here it is.
Oh, that's neat. Yeah, that's really cool.
Oh!
Like I use that as my profile picture so often. It's so good.
Yeah. That's her Twitter right there. She's great. She's a nice fella, as they would say.
That's awesome. No, that's really great. No, I haven't been asked to do very many podcasts, so this is kind of my first. I mean, it's my second because I was on my friend Dave's podcast. He's got a podcast called Recapitate that's like a horror podcast, and I did an episode about Nightmare Before Christmas, and we just talked about why that movie is fun. So that was a fun one.
I wish fucking stop motion wasn't on the way out. It looks like
I feel like it's doing pretty well, actually. I was just out and I was talking to I feel bad because I don't want to seem name droppy, but I was talking to Craig Bartlett, the guy who created Hey Arnold, and he we were talking about the stop motion scene right now, and according to him, it's doing really well. Like, I was like, there's way more studios doing stop motion, than like ever. Like right now, the US is kind of the stop motion capital. Cause not just features, it's like shows too. Like there's companies like Stupid Buddy and, I'm not as good at the names, but, Starburns also does a lot of it's shows, like TV shows. So
I don't watch
I think
TV very often.
that might be why. Because there's a lot of stop motion TV shows, so it's still a thriving industry. It's just that for features, it's really only like Leica.
Yeah, I love Leica though. They're really.
Shame they're going bang.
What they are? What
Are they? Oh no, that's terrible.
They're losing money. Whatever the term is.
I think the problem Leica has is their animation is incredible. Like
it's beautiful.
Seriously incredible.
I was so angry when at the Oscars it lost to The Jungle Book for best visuals.
That sucks. No, that's a snub.
Not even in the
say what you want about the story. The story is Leica writes.
Oh, if it was on the visuals, then that's not fair. That's not a fair. Because the only argument I would say that like it seems to get is that they focus more on the visuals than they do on the story, and sometimes story is just as important, because you can have the most beautiful movie in the world, but if it's not memorable or rewatchable or all that stuff, it just doesn't get as much acclaim. I think their issue.
I don't think Kubo's story was bad by any means.
I don't think so either.
It was serviceable, but like the thing is though, is I still remember Kubo a lot because of just how like jaw-dropping it is. It's stunning. Like, have you ever seen the behind-the-scenes shit for that movie?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, they're so creative with the way they do things. Like with the waves, I remember they had just like 30 different pieces of paper, and then they would flip them all at once, and so that would make like a huge wave, and that's amazing. But yeah, I mean, I know why it's not popular. Well, it's not popular for cinema because it's the hardest animation style.
Oh yeah, it's I mean, every animation medium is challenging in its own right. Like, to me, I would put, I mean, I don't know, because I've never done 3D. I know 3D has its own set of challenges, but I think
it's the easiest.
I mean, I don't want to diss it.
People shit on 2D animation that use tweening, but 3D animation is all tweening. That's
the thing.
Let's clarify. Creating the models is hard.
Creating the models is insanely hard. It's hard, and there's a lot of breaking the models that is involved. For example, 3D like. The reason I have a hard time saying one is easier than the other is because, like, even though 3D fills in the blanks, there's still a lot of frames that you have to put in for the performance. So, so the performance is really important, and I do think that 3D animators are just as skilled in doing that. They're the work they put into the performances.
I'm not trying to shit on 3D animators, but like in terms of like the hierarchy of difficulty,
in the technical,
because you can make the hair animates itself.
Yes, that kind of thing is true.
You got physics simulation, so the hair does itself. Whereas with like 2D, you watch an old dude 2D Disney movie and just watching the hair flow as they run into a room, they come to a complete stop really fast.
Oh, yeah.
And their hair goes past them. I'm like, oh god.
Oh yeah, overlapping action is the best. No,
It's beautiful.
hair and overlapping action is some of my favorite stuff to animate. It's just so satisfying. But
the Hellfire music video from well, not music video, but the musical portion of Hellfire.
Mm-hmm. Oh gosh, yeah,
Hunchback
that's
of Notre Dame. That bit is
phenomenal.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
No, that's the thing with me is that 2D is it can't be, it just can't be replaced. That's why, like if there's any art form, it's not dying by any sense, but in terms of features, 2D is kind of the one that's the most out. Like stop motion at least still has a few each year. There's one or two, but
it's the perception.
2D is just so rare now.
It's all due to the public perception. Is because like when I saw a video I thought was interesting where the guy said essentially that the reason you don't see 2D in movies anymore is because of the TV movies that were just put in theaters a while back.
Oh yeah, they were
lower quality.
There was a lot of bad timing with the kinds of movies that were being released in 2D. It was just a bad. It just got a raw deal. Like the wrong movies got put in theaters at the wrong time.
My professor said, my fucking media criticism professor at my film school pissed me off so much the other day when he said animation is a genre.
God.
He said it's a genre. And I'm like, well, how is it a genre? It's a medium. And he's like, well, I mean, the public perception of it is like the typical Disney princess movie. And I'm like, that doesn't make it a genre because there's people out there that think animation's one thing, you idiot.
Exactly.
There are people out there who think the world is flat.
You could say Disney princess movies themselves. You could say Disney princess movies themselves are like a subgenre of like something, I don't know. But like you can't say.
Yeah, that's what's.
Yeah, I'm just really sad because 3D Disney movies, they're good, but Princess and the Frog was my favorite Disney movie.
I love that movie. I saw that movie like 4 times in theaters.
Keith David, give me more Keith David villains.
Keith David, oh man,
get Keith David for Has-Been.
That would be.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, if we could get Keith David.
Vivzie, you probably.
He's probably expensive though.
No.
I mean, I know he's in Rick and Morty a lot, but.
No. He's not really all that expensive. I've actually I tried to get him, and like I could afford it, but the problem I couldn't get him because I'm not a part of any kind of union. He only does union work.
Oh,
he only there are some people, like for example, I wanted on the project I was going to do before Has-Been, I was trying to do a short film that fell through for a number of reasons, but I was gonna get Richard Horvitz, like the Zim voice actor. And he's so nice. I still really want to work with him. I want to work with him hopefully on like the next big thing. I don't know when the opportunity would present itself, but I know like his contact and everything. It's just, he is another union actor. Like when an actor is union, they can only do union, or they kind of they either have to downplay it, or, it's so small. Like their contribution is so small. Like for example, there were a few, I'm not going to name them just in case that's a conflict, but there were a few people on Has-Been, who are technically union, but they just love the project so much that they were like, I'm going to do it. And also their contributions were a little bit smaller. So it wasn't like, this took them a day and they had to go to the studio and, so I don't think it's like a big issue, but technically, union actors usually cannot do non-union things. But, sometimes unionizing things isn't that hard. You just kind of have to go through a process, and
a lot of
I'm still learning. Yes. Oh yeah. I know that all too well. So, but I think
if you do get that all that paperwork though, Keith David you can contact him.
Really? Like, so I guess I'll talk to you about that later, because that's really cool to know.
I have his agent's email. I had a discussion with his agent, and she basically said, "I'm sorry, but like, you know, we can't have him do this because he's part of the union." But I'm like, all right, that's fine.
Oh no, that's par for the course. But no, I'd love to know. Maybe, obviously, probably you can't say on a recording. But
Well, yeah. I just.
But I'd love to know, like, kind of what he's expecting if he's going to be part of anything, because that's good to know, because it's important. It's important for anyone making an indie project to kind of know that, you know, certain actors cost a little bit more. I mean, that's probably common knowledge, but you know,
of course.
Yeah.
I think Keith David, how he works is like, I think he does it based off of like the project. I think he's like
what
more
he likes.
lenient. He's more lenient with stuff he likes and stuff that like you know, smaller stuff. If they can't afford his top range prices, then he just like he'll lower it. He'll be like, yeah, I'll help out.
He's willing to bend it.
He charges
that's
the
really
big prices
cool
for the big
that's,
boys.
See, that's a few discussions I've had with, you know, with my friends who've helped me make Has-Been and stuff. When we joke around about like who we'd want to work with and who, you know, we dream cast for certain characters and stuff. For me, it's a lot of these, you know, actors who are much more passionate about like the projects they do are really proud of the characters they voice, and you know what I mean. I don't, you know, a lot of shows go for like the really big names,
the big boys,
and movies and stuff, and that's fine. Like I respect everyone who has a distinct voice, and a lot of these celebrities and people who get voice roles, they have distinct voices, which is awesome. But it's cool to work with people who have distinct voices who also, you know, are a little bit like underutilized, you know?
The thing is that if I wouldn't hire someone who is so extremely distinct that they're known for something like very specific.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because if you hire Morgan Freeman, people won't remember his name. They'll remember Morgan Freeman.
They're gonna be like Morgan Freeman. Yeah.
Like, I love the Lego movie.
Except in the Lego movie.
Yeah. Oh, he was. Yeah, he did good in that. I mean, that's the thing.
He did
is
a good
that
job.
is that
on Morgan Freeman?
Is that like a well cast character can do a lot. Like, I think just for me personally, with my projects, whether it be Has-Been or anything else, when I would want a voice actor who might be like known really well for like a certain thing or something, I'd always want to kind of play with that. Like, you know, if they're a voice actor who's normally like the dumb character or the loud character or, you know, the mean character, I'd be like, well, you know, let's have you be like let's change that. Let's do a spin. Like, for example, like with Richard, like he's amazing at playing these really bombastic, like expressive, goofy characters. If I were to cast him, I'd probably want him to play something more like, you know, sinister or something more like not goofy or like a character that's romantic or just something different. Because, and it's not because he doesn't do an amazing job at the other roles. It's just that it's kind of, you know, he does that a lot. He does a lot of these crazy fun characters. I'd almost want to give him like a character he hasn't played often, you know. That's kind of my thing. If I brought a voice actor that's like kind of known for a thing or an actor who's known for a certain genre, I'd be like, bringing in a horror actor to do like a good guy. You know what I mean?
I know Brendan always wants to do more roles where he's like doing more intense things, because usually when he's hired for like a YouTube video where he just like plays the role of news anchor or like ad guy, like movie voice trailer guy.
Yeah, smooth voice.
He says he's like, oh man, I wish I could play some like, you know, bigger characters or something like that.
Oh yeah,
spooky man,
spooky Brendan,
a spooky villain.
I've got like a list of 8 voice actors that I just look up to hugely.
Is that me? Am I one?
No.
Jeez.
It's just all the people from Critical Role. I love Matt Mercer, Marisha Ray, Sam Riegel, Liam O'Brien. Just all of that lot.
Oh, that's awesome.
Are amazing people,
I don't know if I'm
and I love
familiar with
them.
those.
But
And I love
They're so
this
good.
movie. I want more people to see this movie. Song of the City.
That movie's. I just saw that the other day. It's really good.
Bong, have you seen Loving Vincent?
No.
Oh,
I know.
I heard that one's really good too. That one's like the all paintings, right?
This one, it's all like
that's insane.
these.
That's
Oh my
insane.
god.
The amount of work. This movie. It's such a tragedy that this movie didn't get like any like notoriety or anything. Cause
Is the story just not that good?
I don't know. It just didn't blow up, and
that's weird.
It's so gorgeous.
Because every frame literally a painting. Like it's
I thought it was funny. I thought it was a funny plot.
But it's gorgeous.
It is.
I don't know why.
Some of these shots really honestly look like just straight up shots from a movie. They don't look they don't even look painted because they're just that detailed and gorgeous.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a filter, but like it's not.
There's some beautiful animated movies. Like that's the thing about animation is that like it's just such an amazing art form. Like
it's my favorite genre.
Good. It's your favorite genre. That's what another thing that's really fun that I'm having fun with has been because I have a lot of concepts and a lot of things that I'd love to make. And some of my concepts are like kid-friendly things, but what I love about Has Been is that I have a little bit more passion for adult animation. So Has Been is an adult show that looks more Disney-ish and kid-friendly and stuff. Yeah. Because I kind of like what you were talking about earlier where everyone thinks that animation is just, it's just Disney and it's just for kids. That's kind of where the contrast of the show comes from because it's almost like a Disney princess, but she's in hell. So it's what would that entail? Yeah.
And unlike Sausage Party, that's not the only joke.
No, yes. No. Yeah. It's
And also I hope you don't treat your animators like shit as well.
No. I mean, okay, so Sausage Party is a funny topic actually because for some reason I love that movie. I don't know why. It's not really good. It's just, it's not bad. It's not as bad as everyone says it is, but it's also, it's a trashy movie. It's just dumb. It's just trying to be dumb.
It's a dude bro weed movie.
Yes, it's very
the Adam Sandler of fucking animated movies.
It's a Seth Rogen.
I will defend it it's a Seth Rogen movie. I will defend it enough to say that at least it has like a message, like at least it's trying to have a conversation. The problem is it's so full of just the, cursing every 5 seconds and just that, and the trashiness.
I heard about the controversy before I saw the movie and I just
and then the animator thing is just a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
The thing about that is that like I didn't know anybody specifically who animated on that movie, but I'm friends with some other people who work at Sony and they kind of knew a little bit about it and they didn't know about like the extent of it, but you know what I mean? Like they had an insider to the animators and they knew some of the animators and I asked them, I was like, what happened? And obviously, there was a lot of mishandling of that. Like there's no defending that. But for me, I guess it's just the animators themselves loved the movie. They loved working on the movie. They just, the treatment was horrible. And so I don't really blame.
Your animators,
that's horrible. Okay. No, it's absolutely horrible. Yeah. I'm just saying the movie that they made, like it's still their work. It's still their work. It's not. Yeah. I feel like, blaming them or not liking the movie because of the controversy, it's kind of defeating the purpose because the movie is their work. So that's my only thing is that I like the movie because their hard work does show through it. Like the animation is actually very good for a low budget.
Yeah, well that's the thing is like the Emoji movie.
The directors were
good animation too. The Emoji movie as well had really good animation. That movie was terrible.
Oh, that movie is that movie is a whole other.
That's just because that's the formula.
That movie was just in a cash grab from the get-go, and I mean, I don't want to put any words in anyone's mouth, but I don't think even the animators enjoyed that one. So that one's a different case. I don't think anyone enjoyed that.
But I feel like the animators tried though, because
they did their best. They did their best, but I don't.
You can see like the animators at least were passionate about something in this, because like it is really nicely animated. There's a lot of things to like look at in there, and it's quite like visually appealing in ways. It's just everything else is terrible. They did a good job.
I mean, the artists behind all these movies are incredibly talented. Like, that's just an undeniable thing. The movies themselves turn out however they turn out. That's all the people behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But
have you seen that that Miles Morales Spider-Man movie that's coming out? The animated one?
That looks amazing. The
Dimensions one.
Yeah. I was, when the first teaser came out, I wasn't sold just because it's kind of got this, kind of spunky frame rate thing where that seems to be a kind of a new thing in 3D animation. There's kind of this like snappy frame rate, look. And the first teaser didn't win me because I'm not super into that. So I was like, it's kind of got this frame ratey thing. But the newest trailers are absolutely just mind-blowing. Cool. They're mind-blowing. And the animation looks so good. Like, it works. So I'm excited.
Pig character is beautiful. 2D or 3D? I can't tell.
And it's so many styles. Yeah, like, I'd never heard of the comic. Like, I know Spider-Man, but I'd never heard of, like, the multiverse, like, the Spider-Verse. I didn't know anything about it. So, like, when I saw this trailer that has, like, this little cartoon pig and like an anime girl and stuff, I was like, what? This is cool. I love it. So I'm really excited. And I love the main character already seems so like genuine. Yeah. Oh I think it's going to be great. It looks like it's going to be great. I think the team is pretty confident that everyone's going to love it. So knowing that, I'm like, this is going to take the world by storm.
Show Sony how to make a good movie.
I hope it does great.
God, I hope this movie is good and does well, because then maybe Sony can look at that and be like, oh, this is what we've been doing wrong all this time.
Oh yeah. I saw Venom.
Venom was
I'm seeing Venom tonight sometime after the call.
No spoilers, but like
it just looks dumb. I love it.
It's really dumb. I can't say that I had a bad time. I enjoyed it, but like not in the way it wanted me to, I guess.
Venom is very Venom was a lot more dude bro than I thought it was.
Just a train wreck, I guess.
Honestly, I love Venom in the movie. Venom in the movie is great.
Venom.
What? No, I loved Venom. No. He was funny.
I didn't like him. He was just like, I'm going to devour this planet. And then halfway through the movie, he's
no.
Yeah, bro.
He's like, nah, I'm not gonna.
She hasn't seen it yet, Bung.
Nobody's gonna get mad at me.
I don't care about spoilers,
Venom.
but other people might. I'm weirdly spoiler intolerant.
This is gonna come out in like a few weeks.
The one person out there who still listens to Nyan Cat and likes using the troll face is gonna get mad at me for spoiling Venom.
For spoiling Venom. Oh no. Now Venom might not be in theaters.
This is coming out.
Probably
by the time this comes out, Venom's not gonna be in theaters anymore.
I mean, I don't know. It's doing well right now, I think.
It might be doing well because people are going to see it, like, because it's that ironic.
I feel like did the Emoji Movie flop?
I don't know. It probably made some good money.
Venom does know who it panders to, and it's
well, you know what though? I feel like
30-year-old white men who really like edgy stuff.
But Bung, I feel like there is like a good movie in Venom.
Oh, it just
feel like
seems
Sony
edgy
fucked with it.
And I like big monster things.
I feel like Sony definitely.
There's a good movie in anything,
so I'm like,
but Venom is not.
No. I mean, I feel like there was at one point a good movie, but then
it
Sony,
just seems fun.
You know what I think happened is the trailers came out. People said Venom looks stupid, and then Sony backtracked on a ton of shit and made last minute edits.
Last minute edits. So I don't think Venom looking cool would fix the movie though. The movie was bad for many other reasons.
Not looking cool. It's like they cut a lot of shit too.
God.
But like in all fair, but like they did say like Tom Hardy said his favorite 40 minutes were cut.
What could they add on top of this movie that would have been good? Because the movie itself was bad.
Character development?
No. Because the movie itself was bad. If you add on top of it, then at the best you'll have a good movie with loads and loads and loads of bad scenes.
Vivzie? Uh-oh.
This feels like a technical difficulties.
Raptors.
Max, put a thing on the screen.
Vivzie? Uh-oh.
Hello? No. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Was that who's screen share?
Okay, there we go. I hear you guys again.
Hey!
Sorry about that.
All is good
Okay,
again.
good.
I don't know.
I just want to see the Bumblebee movie because I want to know if the Bumblebee fucks the girl.
Oh, in the B movie? Is that what I missed?
No.
B movie talk?
Oh no.
I mean,
That's a different Bumblebee, but you know.
Like the
Oh my
Bumblebee
God.
movie. Okay,
I don't know
there's
which
two,
is worse, being
there's two movies where
that
a
would be
girl
like
wants,
cinematic parallels.
there's two girls where
Holy shit.
two movies where girls want to get with a B.
Fuck a bee.
Which is
the
worse,
B movie
though?
is such a fascinating movie.
It's
It is,
really weird.
yeah.
It's like it had a message, I think, and it's kind of relevant now, I think, about cultural appropriation, I
It's
think.
crazy.
It was.
Yeah.
It's not, also, it was about environment.
Suing people.
I
for
was on a
stealing your
podcast
honey.
that was dedicated to analyzing the B movie.
Yes, you were, and I missed that.
Bring it
podcast.
back.
Oh no.
There
No,
were
one-
2 episodes.
No, one of the members went AWOL, and the other one's just sad now.
AWOL.
Well, yeah, but we should do an episode with Harry.
Yeah,
That'd
just
be
get him
good.
on and finish the B movie podcast.
The B
Yeah.
movie cast.
Yeah, get all of the B
B-movie
movie
cast
casts
post-mortem.
on your podcast and just have like
Yeah.
We've had. Nah.
Yeah. No, we should. That would be funny.
That would be hard to get everyone, wouldn't it? Someone went AWOL.
well, Jerry Seinfeld,
Oh,
I
the
would
other-
imagine would
the
be
other two
very
are
hard
fun.
to
Oh,
get.
yes.
I would imagine
God, I wanna
he'd
see
be
the-
Let's get
expensive
the
as shit.
I want to see. I want to
Oh
see
my-
Bumblebee as voiced by Jerry Seinfeld in the new Transformers.
Christ.
There's got to be some edits. Someone has to edit that.
I
Put B movie lines over Bumblebee.
I love that. I've never seen Seinfeld, and I don't know anything about Seinfeld past B movie. And I remember when like there was the big meme that happened where Jerry Seinfeld like refused to give Kesha a hug, and everyone like I got like 50 people like sending that to me, going, "What is your opinion on this?" And I'm like, I don't know, like I feel bad for her. Everyone's making fun of her.
Mm.
Everyone deserves a hug from Jerry Seinfeld.
What's the deal with Decepticons?
Oh my god.
Like Jerry Seinfeld.
It's that hard
Just
knock
give
life.
out
It's that
hugs,
hard.
Jerry Seinfeld. It's not that hard. You're
Just
a
give
bee.
out hugs.
You're a bee man.
Can you get Jerry Seinfeld on Hesbin Hotel?
Oh God. Yeah, we're gonna
Get him
blow
on.
our whole budget to get Jerry
Make him a
Seinfeld.
demonic
He'll
bee.
be a play of bee.
Make him a-
There actually is like I have a plan for an episode where the B plot, like the literal B plot of the episode, would be
Oh,
about like the characters trying to get like because like the main storyline would be super serious. So I was like, well, what can the B plot be? Oh, well, the B plot can be like the characters
Boo
trying to
boo
deal with like a hornet's nest. So he'll voice the hornets. I'll just have him go
Oh my
bzzz
God.
into a mic, and then we'll just use that.
Not even gonna
Yeah,
be
not even
any
voice.
written lines.
He won't
Just
even say
bzzz.
anything. We'll just
Bee
pay him
It's literally like it's
I'll just
his
get him
soul
to go
in,
bzzz.
in the has-been
And be like-
world.
It's like how they cast Patrick Stewart for the poop in the fucking emoji.
Yes,
movie. That was
exactly.
the only joke.
Yeah, that would
You
be
don't even
funny.
have to cast him.
Well,
You
even
could just
like
cut together every line that he has in any movie where he's using S.
I feel like it's
yeah, just license it. Just license his sound, and then just use that and be like, yeah, we didn't even get him.
You drew the Lego Joker and Holly.
Oh yes, I did. I loved the Lego.
I love
Lego
them.
Batman movie.
She's
I love
like
that
she's
movie.
not like they're not even like in a relationship. She's just like the supportive best friend. Which
Oh,
is
I loved.
great.
Yeah, that take on the Joker is actually one of my because the Joker is one of my favorite characters ever. Like the Joker
He's
is
beautiful.
definitely one of my favorite characters like ever. So I love every depiction that's like good not like the Jared Leto. Jared Leto is my definitely my least favorite. I don't like that one. But
I drew Lego Holly once.
Oh, that's cute. Oh, I love that. That's like a human.
I like
a bigger human.
I like
one.
the shirt.
Great.
I just like that they gave him sharp teeth. Honestly.
Oh, I loved that. I loved that. I was like, yes, that's great. I thought that Zach Galifianakis did a really good job. Like, it was so different. Yeah. It was so different, but it parodied the quintessential relationship that Joker and Batman have, which made it so fun. Like, I was like, this is, they played that so straight, and I loved that. Like, I loved that they parodied their relationship above everything else. And I liked that Harley was like kind of his girlfriend. Like, not his girlfriend, but like his friend, like his gal pal kind of. Also,
10-4 girl.
Yeah, the Zim shark that I drew.
Oh, I feel attacked by this.
There's a reason.
Eyes popping out.
There's a reason I drew that, but I can't say yet because we're still working on it. But it's for something.
Oh.
And so.
Okay.
But yeah,
I use a little green shark as my fucking thing.
Oh yeah. That's great.
I feel attacked.
I drew that because like while I was trying to draw like really derpy versions of all the Zim characters, and for some reason I was just like, I'm just gonna make him a shark because his human disguise has that like pompadour, and I was just like, he just kind of looks like a shark. I'm just gonna draw him as a shark.
I drew my favorite Batman villain a while ago.
Which one?
And it is...
Oh, is the
Polka Dot Man. Polka Dot Man.
That's why I love the Batman villains, because there's just so many stupid Batman villains. Like, Has-Been is heavily inspired by, like, the Batman Rogues Gallery. Like, a lot of the villains are themed and, you know, really crazy and unique and colorful. And then there's really dumb ones, like that. Like, just someone who died for a like dumb reason, and they're just really lame. I'm excited for the snake guy to appear in the pilot, because he's a character that looks really cool, but he's really lame. Like, I mean, he's not as lame as he could be, but he's like, I joke that he's kind of like a Facebook mom, where he is really outdated in, like, memes and, like, humor. Yeah. Because he's from, like, Victorian age, but he's trying to be hip and relevant now. So we had a joke. It's cut from the pilot, so it's not going to be in it anymore, because my fellow writers, like, hated it. And I understand why, because it was horrible, but I thought it was funny because it just showed how out of touch he was, but I think it was too much. We had him say, that he was like, I'm quite the epic dabber. And I was like, that's a horrible joke. I just thought it was really funny to have a character say that. And then, like, everyone, like, all his minions, like, glare at him. And it's just a beat where they just glare at him because he said that.
Like, but we cut it. In the episode, I would have literally died.
I get that would be. I get that as a thing, but I guarantee you that if you actually put that in the show, that's all you would ever see.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That was kind of the consensus we reached. Was that it almost like it was so out of touch that it would just be out of touch.
Fucking make that your Twitter bio. I'm quite the
I think I might, like, include it, like, in the credits or do a doodle or something of him dabbing or something. That would be funny. But, like, because the point of his, like, character is he's kind of like the Steve Buscemi, like, hello, fellow kids. Like, he's kind of like that. Hello. So he's like a cool villain, but he's trying to be like something, you know, he's trying to be like cool and relevant because he's so old. Yeah. But he's not good at it. And his minions are voiced by Joe Gran. So they all kind of sound like, oh, and they tell him to stop. They're like, God, boss, stop it, boss. We just had a lot of jokes like that, where he was just, even his minions think he's too much.
He's lame.
So I'm excited to share that
It's
character.
amazing.
He's funny.
I had an idea for something like a movie or something like that, like ages ago, where it was all of the worst people in history. Like you got you know, like Genghis Khan, like Hitler, Stalin, all these people coming together, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying to overthrow hell, and they're trying to overthrow Satan, and it's like a heist movie almost. Where they have to.
Wait, is that a thing?
They have to. I want to make that. I just like I thought it was the idea. Like I could have all of these significant, terrible people coming together, and they have to overthrow Satan, and then like in the end, they're all gonna kill each other because they're all pieces of shit.
Because they're all shitty. Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be.
They're all terrible people.
Well, it's kind of like I really like the joke South Park made about like the three kind of big serial killers like Dahmer and Gacy and the Bundy, and they're just the Three Stooges, and they're just fucking, and then they start killing each other. And I'm just like, that's just so perfect.
With all the sound effects.
They're horrible. Yeah, the bonks and stuff. It's like, but because they're just horrible. I love when stuff jokes about like horrible people and they just die.
I got a question for you. So in Has-Been Hotel, when a character dies, they're already in hell.
Yes.
Where do they go from there? How do you?
That's kind of like, obviously we're still kind of working out the details. So, you know, if it changes, you know, nobody watching this whole, you know, there's a lot that can happen and change, but, because that is kind of a point of contention in the story, is that, you know, this extermination happens every year. And Charlie, you know, she sees these people as her people. So she doesn't, she sees it as genocide, whereas the angels see it as, you know, basically just, you know, these people had their chance, you know, they're not worth anything. So, you know, we can just get rid of them. There's too many of them. And there's a lot of like lore reasons, and that'll definitely be something the show goes into. But in terms of like what happens, they can die. There is like a final death. It kind of reminds me, obviously way before I saw the movie, but they kind of do something similar is like in Coco, you know, where there's like kind of that final death. Yeah. It's kind of just the nothingness.
So their soul just ceases to exist.
Yeah, it's like I played with maybe like it kind of almost becomes like this, you know, when they die, it almost like their blood and their soul remnants kind of seeps into the ground and just becomes like, you know, part of the foundation of like this evil energy in hell.
What if they go to hell too?
Yeah, there's two. There's just a double. There's a joke actually. It's not really much of a spoiler. But in the limo, there is a line where Angel says like, "What happened?" You know, what. You know, Vaggie says something like, "I'm going to kill you," and he's like, "You know, what's going to happen? Am I going to go to double hell?" Like, so you know, like. Even they don't really know. Like, that's kind of the fun of the show, is that even the characters,
scary.
Even the characters that are already like in heaven or hell, they don't know. Nobody knows what happens after. So
I just think that'd be fucking funny if there is like a second hell under the ground in hell.
Yeah,
it's ruled by double Satan.
Yeah, like,
or if there's like a hypocritical theological discussion about, well, there has to be an afterlife. Yeah. Otherwise, there's no reason to afterlife.
There's just a whole like it just repeats. that would be funny. No, there's the
circles.
That's what's fun.
Might fuck around and drop hell too.
Yeah, that's fun. That's what's fun about the show, is that there's really a lot of potential in what we can kind of do and what we can kind of push. All I know is that there is like a death, but I'm, you know, even as I develop it right now, I'm not positive, you know, what that death equates to. Right now, it's just kind of, you just kind of cease to exist, which makes it even kind of scarier, because they're like, okay, crap, there's no like hell after this. So a lot of the demons, like, you know, are extra, like, oh, they don't want to die, but they also are extra resilient. Like, you know, they get crushed and shot and beat up all the time, and that doesn't really kill them.
Did that guy in the trailer that got crushed, or that got crushed by a rock for the drugs?
He's probably not dead, knowing the kind of energy of the show. Like, you just kind of, you can get, you know, messed up and be okay. right now I have it so that the only way you can really die is by an angel. Like only angels can kill the demons in this universe, and
that makes sense.
And the demons in hell have kind of harnessed that almost, where they kind of there's kind of a black market. So the most powerful demons in this world,
weapons.
yeah, exactly. They save them. Once the extermination happens and there's a lot of like remnants, like spears and whatever they used, they kind of like collect that, and then there's like a black market. So demons can kill each other, but only with like the salvaged angel stuff. So
that's cool.
That's one thing that I do think like kind of keeps that probably won't change.
Bung.
Here's a drawing I did of Genghis Khan as a car.
Bung, if I ever do make that movie about like the worst people in history taking over Hale, you're gonna be one of the people, okay?
Can I be Genghis Khan so that it wouldn't be cultural appropriation?
You can be Genghis Khan.
I'll be Genghis Khan as a car.
Just make them all cars.
What was the Jesus joke in that video, Bung? What was
Jesus joke?
Jesus Chrysler.
Jesus Chrysler.
Oh
yeah.
no. Oh no.
Oh right. I did this video on the history of cars. Because the Pixar Cars movie, they don't try to shy away from the fact that it's just Earth but cars.
It's just
they're
cars.
They're not trying to joke around. Yeah, they're not joking around being
cars.
like, oh, this
they have
is
like
alternate
bug
history.
cars. I don't know how that works.
Yeah. But like they also have all of these prominent historical figures, and the implication of their existence is really dark. Like the Pope, and the fact that the Pope has bulletproof glass kind of scares me a little bit. Because that means there was actually Pope car assassinations in the past. So,
it's just going so deep.
It goes too deep, and I'm not overreacting.
So there's just there's car prejudice.
This is
oh no,
this is the problem
That's
with making blind puns without thinking about like how that affects the world. I always love watching those movies that just don't care to explore the world at all and thinking with the implications of what they've provided. Like with the
because
Emoji movie.
if you know any ounce of history, then you know that a lot of things that you see nowadays are because of certain wars.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at like, wow, Japan's really technologically advanced in cars too. Oh no, that means World War II happened.
Yeah.
Oh no, that means.
God. I mean, that's putting a lot of thought into it.
Well, not just that, but like
I don't think they thought that much about it when they did it.
Well, that's the problem.
Well, this
like,
is the consequence of their ignorance.
Also, with the Emoji movie, you can do the same with the Emoji movie. Like, okay, there's house emojis, but there are also just standard houses. So, do the house emojis live in little houses, or are the houses little houses?
Which came first, the house emoji or the house?
Yeah, and when kids inevitably throw their phones away after a year because they got rich parents, does everyone on that phone just fucking die? Is it like a little genocide? So. Is there like you know what would be cool? Like a group of like survivors that escape the phone every and they like.
Are you advocating for a sequel to the Emoji movie where it's post-apocalyptic?
No, not post-apocalyptic, but like an underground railroad for emojis where they try to escape.
Oh my God. This is going a bit. This is going a bit deep.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I don't know.
They have to escape the phone because otherwise, when the kid wipes it, they're all gonna die. They show this in the movie.
This is the Emoji movie you're talking about.
I feel like I'm having a crisis.
I don't know. I think I'm just gonna sidestep. I don't know what to say.
You don't have any big theories for movie universes?
No,
crazy?
I'm pretty, face value when it comes to movies for the most part.
What happens in the 100 years following the Bee movie, Vivzie?
Okay, let me think. I haven't seen the movie in a long time, but I think it ends with
bee human hybrids.
Yeah, I'll just go with they find a way to like grow bees to be bigger sized, and then just have bee people. And then they have bee people.
Okay, well, you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking with the Bee movie, 100 years that follow, is that the bees are probably gonna try to take over because if they realize they have a grasp on humans, like if they stop producing the pollens, the humans die. And they can hold that over humans.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think once humans know bees are a thing, that can talk and live. I think society would have to cater to them. So, and then it would open the door to all the other bugs that are also like okay. So like, you know, so I think the fabric of reality would just unravel because everyone
that
alive
would cause a huge schism because
there would be a huge uprising of bugs. And bugs outnumber us, so we'd be screwed.
Yeah, mosquitoes would be
we'd be screwed because
there'd be a whole movement for mosquito rights. It'd be wild.
Fuck them. I'm gonna say it right now. Fuck mosquitoes.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? Yeah. Well, like, here's the thing. At what point do you have to, and like, there's so many insects that have these emotions and like thoughts that, and you can't kill them all. Do animals also think?
Yeah, there was a cock and cow in them at the end of the B movie.
So now that leads to the whole like.
The bees opened the floodgates to the fact that we've been torturing sentient animals for thousands of years.
Yeah, and so now we can't eat meat because it's really fucked up now. Everyone has to go vegan.
Yeah.
It's either that or we double down.
Oh no!
Speed up the production.
What animals?
Oh yeah,
no.
That'd be wild. The B movie has some terrifying implications. We should probably stop.
It's not that deep.
It's 4 a.m. Why am I here?
Talk about the B movie. Okay, let's come to a conclusion here. Thanks, Vivzie, for sitting through this silly thing for like 2 hours with us.
Vivz
No problem. I tend to talk a lot, so thank you. Thank you for having me on.
It was a fun time.
It's been good.
And thanks, Bung, for also coming back again.
Okay.
And thanks, Raptors, for I guess existing. Sometimes
that's all I do.
Yeah, that is about it.
That's it.
Thanks for watching, everybody, and have a good day, night, or morning. Bye.
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 Yeah.